My name is Jeff Winton. I'm the founder and chairman of Rural Minds. Mental illness is a growing epidemic in this country. The suicide rate in rural areas is 25% greater than it is in urban and suburban areas. I first started realizing that mental illness was in fact an illness and was pretty prevalent when I was a teenager. There were a number of unexplained circumstances where people in the prime of their life died very suddenly, and no one really talked about it. Mental illness is still highly stigmatized in rural America, and quite honestly, in many cases, people don't necessarily consider it an illness. The real wake-up call for me and my family was when our dearly loved 28-year-old nephew, Brooks, died of suicide. We had been experiencing an absolutely wonderful family occasion, which was the marriage of his oldest brother. And what's so important about that was that my mother basically raised my nephew and my other nephew and niece. And we went from that wedding reception to one of the absolute worst things that any family could experience when my nephew took his life less than 48 hours later, leaving behind 3-year-old twins. I'll never forget him giving me a big hug as we were leaving. And I think back that he was actually saying goodbye to me. My mom was like a mother to him. So it caught our family, it caught the entire rural community completely off guard. There was a lot of talk in the community about, well, you're not going to necessarily talk about this, right? You're going to say he died of natural causes. You're going to say he perhaps died of a heart attack or something. I said, Mom, how much detail do you want us to go into at the funeral? And my mom, without even flinching, looked at me in the eyes with tears coming down her face and said, of course we're going to talk about it. She said, it's about time that this rural community started facing what is going on here. Rural Minds is an advocacy organization that will strive to help end the suffering, the stigma, and the silence that surrounds mental illness in rural America. There is a lot of terrific work going on already in small towns, being run by volunteers and by extension services and by churches to address this. But as we really started looking into what the need was, it became apparent that what was needed was more of a national network that could tie together these grassroots efforts. I'm firmly a believer that if my nephew, who had been struggling but yet had kept it from our family, had felt comfortable going to talk to someone and had felt that there was someone in the area that he could have gone to for help, that he would still be alive today.